Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Social Confoes. We are at episode 50. I repeat, episode 50. And that's 50. For those of you who are thinking of what we're talking about, this is episode 50 of Social Confoes. We pulled this off for 1 year exactly. Well, almost, yeah. We could count this as 1 year. And I gotta say,
Congratulations, Diego.
I gotta say, I'm really proud that we've actually reached this milestone. It's been a
So,
journey.
are you more proud of yourself? Are you more that you've managed to do 50 episodes with me? And are you proud of me that I managed to commit to 50 episodes of
I'm
a
proud of
podcast?
us, that this co-commitment. I'm proud of this co-commitment because I think if we both, knowing our personalities individually, would have done it, it would not have happened. So I
True,
am proud
true,
of
true.
us. And Jill, welcome to
Awesome,
the
awesome.
show. Thanks for celebrating this with
Love
us
it,
tonight.
love it. Yes. So, what are we going to do today? Yeah, wow, we have so much
So
to do.
yeah, we've already done a bit of a review. We've done a few weeks ago on what we're expecting in 2022, what we're looking forward to. We've actually had some two exciting episodes with guests the previous 2 weeks. One with Ashwin locally here on his journey, and with Saswat all the way from India, Bangalore, and those are very fun conversations. Very enlightening to see where actually the space is going with entrepreneurship, technology, and just philosophy in general. So that was really fun. So that's stuff I'm looking to forward to doing more of in 2022. And tonight we'll also do something a bit fun, a bit different than what we're used to. We've been dabbling in the metaverse, the crypto gaming world, this crypto social media blockchain space in a while, and we're kind of going to share a bit of what kind of fun we've been having there, aside from just trying to earn some income, but just the content we've been creating, the things we've dabbled in, and the games we've been playing.
We're
So we
gonna
will
open
do,
packs tonight.
yeah, we're
That's
gonna
for
open
me.
packs.
That's the fun part. And I've been opening NBA Top Shot packs together with Giano and Chino most of the time. So with two friends who've been opening NBA Top Shot packs. We're actually gonna open a rare gold metallic gold pack today. Diego is also gonna open a Gods Unchained, which is kind of the new hype in the crypto gaming space. So he's really big there. I haven't even tried it out yet. In 2020 there actually I'm in conversations with some NFT spaces of doing promotions together, so that's really getting me excited. And I'm in the
In,
midst. Yeah.
in how many Twitter communities, and because last time you asked me in how many Discord communities am I, in how many Twitter, yeah, I'd call them communities, or are you? Because you're
so,
more
so
active on
here's
Twitter than me.
here's the best thing about Discord is that you can separate the community. So you go into a certain Discord for a certain community. On Twitter that's not the case. So I feel like for Twitter you get more rewarded for being loyal to one community because that community only talks about that. And unless you're really a community leader, you have to commit. Like I'm very committed to the Hive community, so I feel like there's a lot of people that are following me on Twitter for Hive related stuff. But when it comes to the NBA Top Shot community, like the community leaders, the people that are big, with some of them, I've built up a relationship basically through being active and interacting with them. But it's not like they're people that are NBA Top Shot collectors that are like saying like, okay, this is somebody I'm going to follow specifically for Top Shot. Because the biggest problem that I have is, yeah, I actually talk about too many different NFT projects on Twitter at the moment. A quick shout out from Ruiz as well. Ruiz, thank you. Nice having you here as well. And thanks for the positive words. And so basically, that's the answer, Diego. For me, it's on Twitter. I feel like you can only commit to one or two projects, and if you're really active and you post about them daily, then people will interact with you on that. But if you're all
Okay,
over the
so
place,
let,
yeah.
let's reframe that a bit. How, if you had to compare Twitter versus the other traditional social media like Facebook, Instagram, how would you describe your activity compared to the others on
Oh,
Twitter?
Twitter is full crypto and NFT.
And
There's a big difference. Like on
yeah,
Twitter, like
and how
yeah.
also if you look at it content wise and time wise that you allocate, how does that differ from the content you create traditionally?
So I've made a commitment that I was gonna go into Twitter more this year. I kept into that commitment. I think I've been more active on Twitter than on LinkedIn and on Facebook for the past couple of months. Um, but I've also accepted that on Twitter, I'm not going to talk about Suriname. On
Mhm.
Facebook, I'm going to talk in Dutch, like except for social confoes, but all other content is just going to be in Dutch. Facebook is there for my home country, for Suriname, to support Surinamese locals doing awesome stuff. And Twitter is really for crypto metaverse. So I think that's the way. Reese, utilizing Twitter is really for an average Surinamese person, utilizing Twitter is two ways. One, connecting with your international audience. My first international speaker that we got for the social media conference Suriname, the first international speaker out from the US, the first person that we brought out from the US, Jennifer Radke. We kept in touch through Twitter, like for 4 or 5, yeah, for 3 or 4 years. We kept in touch through Twitter, and then I reached out to her saying like, hey. Do you want to speak? You're actually the head the CEO of the National Institute for Social Media in the US. Would you come over and speak here? And she was like, yeah, sure, of course. And that happened to Twitter. Our first international client for Inevitable, also from the US, happened through a Twitter DM. So, like, for international interaction, for people having the similar interests that you have, Twitter is awesome. Like, LinkedIn is more kind of the professional network, and Twitter is more like communities. But here's what happened: I was more in the social media community on Twitter, and then I transferred to the crypto NFT space, and it also makes it a little difficult because you just let go of the social media aspect. Like I don't tweet about like how to use social media and those kind of things anymore. But I did manage to incorporate um, social media with crypto. And today we had Twitter Spaces. I was in my first Twitter Space today. That was also
As a
pretty.
speaker or as
Yeah,
a
also as a
just listening in?
speaker, a guest speaker, I got to co-host a bit as well because I wanted to know the functionalities. And another Jennifer Nafaret, who's e-podcaster, she kind of guided everybody through the Twitter space and how it works. So, and that's interesting because today is episode 50 of Social Confoes, but today was also episode 75 of the Hive Chat, which is the weekly Twitter chat on Tuesdays. So, and that's
And,
a little different because I don't have to host that. We don't like we host every week. The tweet chat, Twitter, the Hive chat isn't hosted by the same person every week. It's a different Hive owner that kind of hosts the show every week.
and just to quickly add to that Twitter Spaces, Twitter community, there's actually people who are running their podcast shows in Twitter Spaces. And
Yeah, and they're trying to
basically,
convince us to do social confos the same way.
yeah, so it's something we should consider in next year because basically, last week we had our weekly bottle at FAT, Ashwin was with us, and we talked about the NFT drops and everything, and I told you about how I got a POAP, proof of identity protocol, from a podcaster, actually an NFT influencer in the Twitter space who does his podcast on Twitter and actually rewards people who listen in live with such a POAP. And this
Oh,
POAP
okay.
actually granted people. to be early access whitelisted to the Adidas collaboration drop, NFT drop,
Oh,
just
oh.
by participating in his live podcast. And
So you bought an Adidas sweatshirt for $800.
I bought the NFT.
I'm
I
just
bought the
fooling around.
NFT.
I'm just fooling
I
around,
bought the
TJ.
NFT,
Yeah,
which
I'm
was
just fooling around,
ridiculous
TJ.
because when the live sale went,
Yeah.
another friend of mine also he didn't have the early access and he wanted to do the live sale. So the timer went down, and within a blink of an eye, the buy now button became sold out.
What?
Yeah, he couldn't
Wow.
even click the button. So
Wow.
I was really fortunate to have
And you
that
just to
access.
go, just because you went to a Twitter space.
Just
That's
because I
awesome.
went on a Twitter space and listened to a
That's awesome.
podcast.
Okay, before we continue, let's quickly get into the comments. Tevin says he's the first time he's watching this on Twitch, so that's very interesting as well. I like
Yeah,
Twitter a lot.
Twitch is another
Yeah,
interesting space that
yeah, it is.
I really
It
love
is.
now.
It's difficult because the difficulty pushes to gain following. So Twitter, like the real thing about Twitter is like I was just explaining to Luis, like communicate in English. If you really want to go somewhere with Twitter, if you want to do Twitter locally, like there are a lot of Sudanese people on Twitter, but they post complete rubbish and it's personal. So even if you're gonna interact with them, they'll be like, we don't want to interact with you. We use it for our fun. We use it to troll, to talk about sexual preferences, to talk about anything which is personal and basically none of your business. So I wouldn't really get into the Twitter space locally. But if you want to, if you go to conferences internationally, if you're in a lot of international programs, Ruiz, like programs that you are in, it's a great way to keep in touch with your international friends and connections on Twitter. And it's a little less formal than LinkedIn, for example. Also, getting a shout out from Ruan. Ruan, thank you for joining in as well. And thank you for the congratulations. We're really happy that we made it this far. So I think for me, Twitter is also another thing that happened is I started giving away stuff on Twitter because it was easier to do it on Twitter. And I actually wanted somebody who has done a lot of giveaways on Twitter to also speak at a social media conference because I think it's a really interesting space. But I think for most people, a lot of people that are very, very social media savvy on Twitter, in the NFT space, they don't feel comfortable with sharing their knowledge because for them it feels new. But from a social media perspective, looking at like how NFT projects use Twitter to really market their products, I think Twitter has blown up thanks to NFTs, Diego. I think Twitter has caught some ground against Instagram and Facebook because Instagram and Facebook just aren't that great for marketing crypto.
I think it's also more that direct line of communication that makes it appealing for Twitter because DMs are open for people you would not be able to reach on LinkedIn, reach on
Yeah,
Facebook. DMs are open for these people on Twitter, especially if and I'd say the following doesn't really matter that much. It is the common interest, the common space, the common community, and the things you post, the things you share. And if you share something in their DM, you'd be surprised what you get. And there's a lot of giveaways. We talked with Saswat last week, and I mentioned, he interviewed Andrew Warner, one of the bigger podcasters in the States, 1,500 podcast episodes, interviewed a lot of entrepreneurs. And he had like a giveaway for his new book about how to have conversations, etc. And he just posted on Twitter, um, drop a comment here, etc. And like a few days later, they went through the comments. One his content manager or something reached out to me in a DM on Twitter, send me the content like that. And with that, you have a contact established there. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
nice, nice, congrats. So Devin quickly wants to talk a little bit about DM NFT spamming. Yeah, that's I mean it's one of the downsides, but on the
So
end you get a lot of opportunities as well.
About NFT spam, I'm actually surprised. I don't get any DM spam on Twitter,
Oh, you don't.
surprisingly enough. I
Have
only
you
get them
checked
on
your
Instagram.
folder? Have you checked your folder of requests, message
Or,
requests?
or Twitter does a damn good job of filtering this out.
Yeah,
But
better than Instagram.
Instagram and Discord, yeah,
Better.
those I
Discord
get
is
flooded.
terrible. Discord is terrible.
But I
Yeah.
have not had that issue on Twitter actually.
Go to your message requests. You'll be surprised. So I actually recently went to my message request and I found a very interesting message in there. And then I went to LinkedIn to find like the head of marketing of that project. And I reached out on LinkedIn to the head of marketing of that project and he responded to me. So there also on LinkedIn is also very underrated. Like if especially creators that are big on other platforms, they have like millions of followers on Instagram and TikTok, and on LinkedIn they're quite small. They have like 1,000 connections, not that many. So you can easily reach out to them. I've reached out to a couple. I can't uh, tell yet who responded and who didn't, but basically I reached out to a couple of my who I consider my idols, like in a business sense, in a creator sense, and I'm hoping that they will respond. They might not respond, but I at least sent a personal message hoping that they will respond. And that's actually kind of how I'm there are some interesting people that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. I'm connected with a very, very popular international magician. I'm connected with an NBA player. So there are a couple of interesting connections that I connected with them because I felt like in the future there could be a partnership when I feel like there's a project that's big enough for them to be of interest. Because I also feel that's another thing about these projects and about the NFT projects and hyping people up and connecting. I don't want to connect with somebody and then uh, go for an ask because yeah, I think like can you it's not interesting for them. That's also one of the things that I've learned is like a lot of people and that's maybe also why I haven't reached out to more people to be a guest on our podcast. You do want to be sure that you provide value for them as well. If you invite somebody over to the podcast to talk a little bit about their life, if it's somebody who has done that 10 times already, they're like, yeah, what's it gonna be like? Why
Yeah,
should I do
it's
it?
just finding that balance of filter because on the flip side, there's actually a lot of people who are egging to actually share what they know, but they don't have an outlet. So that's also a flip side. But yeah, I do understand that hesitance to reach out to certain individuals and to because you yourself feel like, am I spamming? Am I crossing the line, etc. So
Yeah, if it doesn't feel right,
yeah.
don't do it. You know,
And speaking of, I just checked my Twitter DMs, and yeah, I have no spam whatsoever. Actually, one I do have is about a sales something, but no crypto related spam whatsoever, not in the message request. So
interesting,
yeah,
interesting, very interesting. So, what do we want to do today? We will continue on with the reviews. Do we want to open some packs? Do we first want to talk a little bit about what 2021 meant for us, how we approached the year, what kind of happened in the year, or do you just want to open up those packs?
I think we can do the win of 2021 first, like briefly, and then move over to the packs. So to kick that off, for me, like 2021 was, I just got back at the end of 2020 from New Zealand. So for me, 2021 was more like a fresh start of trying new things. And the podcast was the highest priority, I suppose, coming back from a year hiatus. Let's call it that, a year hiatus, and kind of kickstarted my, let's call it, creator journey by creating and publishing content from myself. So, and it's kind of, to my surprise, it's working out in different ways than I expected. So the podcast is one thing of consistently recording, releasing an episode every week, and then kind of repurposing this content on the different platforms, which I did for a while, but I didn't really feel it. So if you notice my LinkedIn post, I kind of dropped out from LinkedIn because I felt like it was kind of too repurposing, and the algorithms of these companies kind of make it harder for you as a individual creator who's still on the rise to break through, because you got to compete with the algorithm and also have original content. So that was kind of missing out. But then you explore other spaces like Twitch, because I enjoy gaming a lot, and Twitch is the gamer community. But I'd say I consume as much Twitch as YouTube right now, if we're talking content
Whoa,
wise.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's definitely
So
interesting. And compared to the growth that you've had on Twitch versus the growth that you're having on YouTube, what is that balance like?
like YouTube, I think total subscribers is around 150 now, but starting the year, I was already over 100 subscribers starting the year. And so maybe we grew with 40 subscribers
Not
over
that
a
much.
whole year. And on Twitch, I got like 50 followers within 2 months. So
Okay.
the engagement, it also depends on which channels you engage with and the communities you find. But I find it easier to, because it's also live content, to be on Twitch than on YouTube for content creation purposes. And of course, sometimes they go hand in hand. I see other Twitch streamers, repurpose their streams and create YouTube content out of it to, funnel traffic from one to the
So
other,
how
or
much
vice versa.
Gods Unchained, how much gameplay that you streamed on Twitch have you uploaded to TrueSpeak?
I have not uploaded anything on TreeSpeak yet. We'll go on Hive, but we're talking about content creation, and
Yeah.
I don't even need to start with video yet because I am actually creating content on Hive, written content right now, and it's actually quite easier than compared to the podcast contents that I was trying to repurpose on LinkedIn, to actually just document my gaming experience with Gods Unchained on Hive. So for the past six weeks now, I've been creating content on Hive on a weekly basis, and it's actually paying off. And also partially because the community leader from the Gods Unchained is really onboarding many people and encouraging people to create original content on the platform, just to show them that there is an alternative than just YouTube and the traditional spaces to have an income by doing things you enjoy. So yeah,
So I
that's on
think,
the content creation side.
yeah, yeah. So that's from a personal side. I think from a more broader perspective, I think decentralized spaces are starting to win and gain traction. Like the decentralization is winning. When I'm looking at from different perspectives. Um, Creators are winning. Like even for Ruiz, who might not consider himself a creator person, like really, because it's one of the things that he does. But he's being asked for projects as an influencer to kind of share products or a certain thing that the companies want to show to a certain audience, and they can't or they cannot as easily reach that audience as he can, and then companies use him as his platform to actually reach others. I think it's a very interesting space because a lot of people misinterpret influencer. Like they look at somebody like, for instance, the NFT influencer that got you early access to the Adidas NFT. Like if people hear about him, they're probably like, "Yeah, I don't really care for that." But they're not in that community. They don't value the same things as he does, and I think that's a very interesting thing that I think people are starting to become aware. Like there are certain interests, and there's certain communities specifically for that interest, and it's been easier now than ever to reach, if you have a certain interest, that you can reach out to somebody in that community, and they are more than willing to help you out if you just ask them for help. And I think You don't even have to ask them for help. You just check what they do and understand and become part of it and interact with them. And you become part of the community. And I think that's a very interesting development where it's okay to be part of a niche. It's okay not to be like part of the mainstream thing. And of course, COVID kind of accelerated that process a little bit as well.
Yeah, no, definitely a niche. And just to wrap this up, funny thing about the scripted G Money is actually most of people don't even know his face in the online space. He actually he owns a board ape. Uh, no, not a body, but a punk. And that's actually his identity. And even in the video sessions, I think he was a speaker at NFT NYC. In all the video footage, every camera angle, his crypto punk was overlaid on his face. So his face was not even broadcasted to people looking in digitally. So that's kind of that identity thing we talked a few times about, that it has become their identity online, and that's what people kind of relate to, trust in, and not even being superficial and judging a person by that, but just on the their contributions within the community.
I can go really deep, very meta in this kind of social identity aspect from a scientific approach, but we're gonna leave that for for
Yeah.
another time. We're gonna leave that for another time. Okay. A question by Reese is actually: do we have like statistics, listening audio? So, like one of the things that I can tell about like these live sessions, we do notice if we have a guest, like a guest from Suriname in, we know there's a spike in the live sessions. Like more people follow those live sessions. We are very well aware of it. The funny thing is that when we started out, we got a lot of people tuning in locally as well. We have some international guests. So thank you for joining in again, Raul from Fort Lauderdale, and Roanne was also joining in from the Caribbean. So I think it's interesting to see how people approach this. I think for most people, it would be nice locally if we just spoke Dutch. Um, but I think what I'm definitely going to do more with in 2022 is spread the content and distribute the English content to other outlets where we haven't even started to distribute you. And also more getting traction on Spotify. I'm really interested if we start kind of promoting Spotify or promoting the website, how that traffic flow is going to go.
Yeah, so regarding the data, that's a fair point. The live sessions really are dependent on who we get on and kind of their localized following for the people who tune in. And obviously, there's some people who tune in every week because that's very niche. But I think there's kind of where we have, I'll call it kind of a identity issue still, because we are kind of still widespread in the type of topics we pick. And that doesn't quite resonate with everybody, especially if it's someone from outside who the local community hasn't heard about at all. So we have noticed that those episodes tend to perform lower locally.
Yeah, and we kind of we get excited for having a guest who builds startups in Mexico and and in Latin America, or somebody who lives in Singapore. That's kind of like what excites us, but it doesn't have to be the same thing that excites others as well. And we do have to find a direction, but I think also we decided this year not to too much make it work and see how things develop over those 50 episodes.
Yeah. What would you say if you look at the last 50 episodes, and if you measure up the international guests we've had and the local guests, what would you say the key difference was in type of interviews we've had? How do you feel? Were they like? Do you think they were more similar, or was there a
Yeah, see,
something
the thing
that's
is,
very
the
different
thing
in the approach?
the thing with local guests is, and even if it's a Surinamese person living abroad, it's you feel closer connected from a personal level. Like you feel a little bit more relatable in a sense of a kind of identity. Um, but for the international guests, it's kind of I get excited because we get to talk about stuff that we usually don't talk about. But I'm not sure, and I think it's good to know about how guests, but also listeners, not just the live viewers, but people who follow the podcast afterwards, that download the podcast afterwards. It would be for me very interesting to see like who actually jumps on like a week later to listen to an hour of podcasting on a specific topic. And we've not even yet experimented with the actually, I wouldn't call it clickbait, but kind of the titles of the podcast, focusing on specific segments of the podcast. We've we've just documented and created for a year. And for me, 2022 is going to be the year that I'm just going to dissect all the 50 podcasts and kind of take the gold bits out of it to kind of improve the experience as well for people who aren't like, we want to listen to everything.
Yeah, because that does take a lot of mental energy and mental work to go through all of that content. And if you look at it, an hour, we talk for an hour, but if you really, really, really dissect it, you'll be busy like 3 to 4 hours with that 1 hour to actually get value, true value out of
Yeah,
that and
but
listen to it.
something that you need to do. I mean, like there are bits that now watching this live have a lot of value because it's fun. But if you listen back to the recording, it's like, okay, we can skip over this.
Mm.
So the best way is to just dissect the things that are really important. And social media, you don't want to waste people's time too much. So you do want to dissect it into what's interesting until we reach to a point where you can say like the whole freaking 60 minutes is interesting and there's the dull moment because you keep on rapidly going. And basically the problem with that is you kind of let go of the creative. You kind of structure everything, go 60 minutes, go hardcore. Also, you have to go for guests that want to go hardcore for 60 minutes and want to give the most optimum value of their time in those 60 minutes, which kind of takes away from also keeping it light and keeping it a social conversation. Another question that was asked is about the EU time zones, like if you're Central European time, for instance. We've had guests on where they actually stayed up until the night to actually do the live session at a regular time. But we've also had guests that we switched our time.
Yeah, in the second half of the year, we actually accommodated for this to add a secondary time slot. So kind of that's how we alleviated that a bit because there are people in those parts of the world that we'd like to converse with as well, and that's the downside about live sessions because the time zone difference is something you will that challenge is something you can't get around. So that's why we added a different time slot.
Okay.
And of course, once that's recorded, there's always the episodes on the website that get released afterwards, which you can listen to anytime. So
So,
yeah,
so I do want to ask a question now because a lot of what we do now is a mixture between giving valuable information for people to listen afterwards and people who actually tune in live. So, if you look at 2022, gathering the information of the 50 episodes that we did now, would you say we work on getting as many people on the live as possible, talk with as many people on the live, and then redistribute it afterwards, uh, make the audio better? Or would you say, like, we're just gonna get on to record actually the audio version and we're focusing more on that and people get to see the behind the scenes of how we make the audio version?
I think the second option is something that feels to have more value for me. because these live sessions are indeed a more behind the scenes. And if we were to go like the maximizing the live session, the value out of that, then a different platform and a different approach would be more recommended. Something like Instagram Live or a Twitter Space, where you can actually accommodate that kind of interaction. Because yes, we integrate the viewers' comments in these shows, but generally it is still a social conversations amongst us, and when we have a guest, amongst the guests, with every now and then a comment from the chat to have them included. But it is more of a like behind the scenes, and I've seen both work. I've seen other podcasters actually do this as well, through Zoom sessions, etc., where they invite people and they do record a live session, etc. They have their show with kind of a live studio audience, so to speak, and but it is still their show and with their flavor. So I think for us, that's also the approach we might experiment more with in 2022. Not sure if you agree or share that same
Yeah,
sentiment.
because then you're gonna look at the sentiments like, for instance, now we have the opportunity to either at your place or at my place build up a podcasting studio and kind of do sessions like together. Still have the StreamYard set up with multiple angles and multiple cameras, but actually have, especially when it's a two-person session, that we could actually record it in a physical location as well. So these are kind of things that all of a
But
sudden are
believe
things
me,
that we,
logistically,
yeah,
digitally, if you did done this, it's harder to go back to the other one.
yeah, of course it is, of course it is. But that's the question. We're like production wise, you have a lot of options, and especially if you're gonna do this every week for, let's just say, 5 years, like it's something that you can definitely consider having an actual live podcasting space.
Oh yeah.
So so it's something that for me, of course, I'm going to improve this rule. Right now I'm not really, when it comes to tech, I lowered my standards compared to the beginning of the season, but that's mainly to the internet connection, mainly to unforeseen circumstances that I was like, is that really that important? But it's something that I do want to production wise improve on in 2022. So it's something to consider, to also have like a live studio where we could record this.
And would you consider that an ultimate goal, as Rui says? For me, it's not really an ultimate goal. Like the live studio, the things that come with it are bonuses for me. And I won't per se say that there's an ultimate goal, but just having these sessions is in itself a reward for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into social confoes. You can tell, I think, more from the confoes perspective because you have a broader goal with confoes. For me, it's like I want people to loosen up, like really to loosen up. And for me, social confoes is that I want to be able to have like high level guests in our show, that in our show talk about stuff they don't get to talk about usually in other shows, in other podcasts, because people get hired, people get booked for their speciality, their niche, their expertise, but we don't often get to see the authentic person behind it. You don't talk about it too enough. And I think a lot of people like Joe Rogan because he somehow dives into that, but I don't want to go 2.5 hours, 3 hours as well. And then there doesn't have to be that many golden nuggets. This is like aha moments as there are in like a Joe Rogan podcast. It also, we are not as entertaining. Like if you look at the Dave podcast, Dave Van Aarde was a guest at our show. If you look at his podcast, there's high entertainment value, also largely because of the personality that Dave is. And I don't feel like we have to replicate anything like that or like what's done internationally. I just want to have general casual conversations with people that usually are too much focused on the professional side and the business side. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah, Ruiz, you're already on the list. So hit me up whenever you're back and available. And maybe you can even be the first guest in 2022.
Oh,
So let me
that
know.
slot has been booked, I think, this morning.
Ah, well,
Yes,
you all have
but
an early
he
slot in
can definitely
2022.
join us in January as well. I would love to have Luis on as well and to share his latest travels and how it was as well. So I think for me it's also about having like a casual conversation because a lot of these shows tend to go towards a certain specific topic. A lot of the podcasts want to get knowledge across, and we do want that as well. But we also want it to be a conversation between two people.
Yeah, and coming to the bigger Confoes picture, the broader Confoes picture, that was it originally. You actually said that a casual conversation. That was the very first name of the first show, casual Confoes, and that was about it. We only went more specific as we saw we were talking about certain topics more and more, and categorize them and group them nicely together to add some structure to it. But at the core, that is what we're trying to do: have a casual conversation regarding money, have a casual conversation around having a business, creating stuff, and yeah, people should just be able to talk about what they want when they want.
Yeah, and I think there's still a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity, a lot of guests, and I think for me, the biggest thing in 2021 was seeing what we could do when we just commit for 50 weeks. And now that we've committed for 50 weeks, there's
We're
kind of a
gonna
base, and that's the minimum I want to achieve. And yeah, in 2022, there's gonna be an upgrade in certain levels. Definitely, I feel like that's something that I'm big on as well, and especially from a distribution perspective, um, you guys will see a different change.
and and speaking of committing, I think it's high time to commit to opening some packs.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're gonna start off with the easy one. We're gonna start off with Splinterlands. Um, I wanted to open this pack on stream because people will be surprised to see especially the graphic design behind crypto gaming. Okay, so while Diego shares his screen, I'm gonna
Yeah,
quickly
let me
gonna
get
go
mine
into
up. Um,
Splinterlands, what it's about. It's for me personally, even though Diego will say by now, Gods Unchained is his number one crypto game, but for me, Splinterlands is the biggest crypto game in the world. I'm a little bit biased because it runs on the Hive blockchain, and there are over 1 million owners, Splinterlands owners. So without further ado, Diego, you can go ahead and open your pack.
Yeah, so just to for some context, this is actually my very, 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 very first pack.
Awesome.
Um, they have, they're, I think they're doing an expansion launch now. So how it works is basically every few years, months, they have a set of packs and then they release over time, and they're having a campaign now with releasing new cards in the ecosystem, and you can buy these packs. And there's a whole stuff you need to do, stuff you need to stake. It's a whole thing, but I managed to get a pack thanks to Shanduk's help. So my very first Splinterlands
Have you
pack is
seen a
from the
pack
Chaos
opening?
Legion.
Have you seen a Chaos Legion pack opening? Have you seen it?
I'm gonna
How
see
it
it right
opens up?
now, live
Awesome,
with mine.
awesome. Right. Oh, nice. And everybody who's watching can also see it. Okay, cool. Go
So
ahead. Go ahead.
walk me through this. So we got a
So
portal here.
you
You
drag the
told me to
pack.
buy some potions here. So do I
Yeah,
need to
so
do
the
anything with the
reason I asked you
potions?
to buy potions because I didn't do that because I didn't know how potions work. But basically, you have a very good shot at, I think, a 5% chance of landing a legendary card and a 5% chance of landing a gold foil cards, which of course are worth more in the marketplace. And you basically just drag the pack from the bottom left into the well.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have your sound set up, but if you have your sound set up, it
Yeah,
looks
yeah, I hear it.
really, really, really nice.
Okay, do I need to use the potion?
No, basically the potions are already being used. You can see that they're filled up. So you have five. You can hover over them because that kind of gives. Diego, Diego,
Yes, yes.
you have three really good cards there on
Oh,
top. So you
is it the
might want to
glow?
open. Yeah, you might want to open up the bottom two first, and then
All
we
right,
get
let's
into the
go.
exciting cards. Yeah.
Lame cards. All right.
No, that's so quickly. Ooh, even it's not even lame cards. You got your first gold card
Oh,
in your
gold
pack on
foil.
opening. You got a gold foil card, which is a pretty cool card. That's actually a card that's really nice to use when you have low mana games and you can attack from anywhere. And the bottom right one actually repairs your shield. So if
Mm.
you have shield and it repairs the shield of your monster. So that's and these are your lesser cards. So this is already
Excited. Get this gold foil has made
so
me
you have a
excited.
gold foil, and I probably think the gold foil is already worth more than what you paid for the pack. But let's continue.
All right. So from left to right, right? Let's go.
Yeah, go from left to
One
right. Okay,
rare.
so that's
Okay.
it's a rare. Okay,
A second
and another
rare.
rare.
And
Is that an epic?
that's an epic. Indeed.
Okay, so you got two rares, an epic, and a gold foil in your first pack on opening. I mean, these are like, and the ones that you have are kind of they're low mana as well, so they're easy to use. So that's pretty cool. That's really. Congrats on your first gold foil. You have a gold foil, two rares, and one epic. I mean, I'm
Awesome.
lucky. I'm lucky if I get more than one rare in my pack opening. So
Hey,
that's a
you
great.
told me to use potions, so
Yeah. So you this is why you use potions basically to get that gold file. So I think I should share my screen as well because I'm also opening up
all right, as we
Splinterlands
switch it
back.
up, yeah. So Splinterlands on the Hive blockchain. If you guys are interested in gaming, definitely check it out.
Yeah,
But also, it's a way to. It's another marketplace. It's a digital space.
it's digital. If you want to get an easy way to collect NFTs, also if you want an easy way to play to earn, I have to say the play to earn isn't that exciting anymore in the sense that you have to invest to earn money out of it, and you have to play a lot to really get your money's worth. But from an investment perspective and a gameplay, I really love the gameplay. I really love the design. I mean, let's just open up mine as well. And just the way this opens up, the well opens up, it's like, yeah, I really get excited for the pack opening. Maybe a little bit too excited. So
Oh,
I'm
is
not
your screen
sure. Yeah,
frozen?
my screen is stuck. My share screen is stuck. So this is one of the downsides of having not the greatest internet connection. Um,
Well,
so
is it the internet connection, or do you need to upgrade your MacBook?
yeah, I probably have to upgrade my MacBook as well. So I guess we're gonna wait for this one. I'm probably gonna open up the other pack first. um, this doesn't look good. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Do you want to do the NBA Top Shot first or the Gods Unchained first?
Um, Up to you. I think you'd go first. Or wait, the NBA top such was a special one, yeah. Let's save
Yeah,
that
it's
one for
pretty
the end.
special.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
save that one
it's
for the end.
at
I'll
least
pop up.
$90.
Yeah, I'll pop
Yeah.
up my Gods Unchained. So yeah, Gods Unchained, another card game, trading card game on the in the crypto space. And just a brief recap: so Splinterlands is on the Hive blockchain. Gods Unchained actually runs on Ethereum on the second layer token on Immutable X. So if you're familiar with Hearthstone, a very popular trading card game by Blizzard back in the day. It is based on that, the core concept, but you can actually now trade your cards to earn money. And they actually have a campaign going on now. They are in the beta version and with a defined order pack. So I went ahead, there's still some supply left,
So
about
how much is a
20%.
pack?
Pack is around 250. So if
So I
you
should get one. Okay, okay. I should probably get some.
go quickly here as this opens. Yeah, so 250, and they have kind of a discount as the pool becomes smaller. So there's 23% supply remaining. And if you want guaranteed, you pay more, of course. But I just bought some rare packs, and let's see what we get. And here we go. How does this opening graphic compare to Splinterlands? So do we go from left to right or right to left?
The middle.
Okay, so as you can see, the top left is describes for what god or domain they belong to. So this is a light card,
Yeah.
and this is a rare light card
Oh,
depicted by
awesome.
blue. Um, s- so you have
And what does the
common.
0 and the 1 mean?
So this is a relic. This is a
Yeah.
weapon that you can equip by your god. So this is the damage it does, and this is how many uses it has. As
Okay.
this is kind of more of a utility-based weapon, when you use it, you kind of attach a buff or debuff on a opponent's card that lasts for 8
So
turns.
there are some similarities in it
Yeah,
compared to
I'd say
Spirited
so.
Lands.
It is a trading card game at its core, but the gameplay is completely different. Oh, a
Okay.
second rare.
Ooh, nice.
So at the end of your turn, if your frenzy to all this card is in your hand, give it +2/+2. So basically, this card would get stronger every turn if you get to the frenzied state. A nature card and another warrior card. So we got,
So
yeah,
two rares. That's not bad.
two rares.
It's not bad at all. So when I look at it from a design perspective, I feel I really love, I really love
Splinterlands.
my Splinterlands.
Yeah, it took a while for me to get used to this the first time I saw it, but then I think it's kind of like that frequency bias. The more you engage with it, the more you appreciate it. So I think that's what happened to me. But what got me was really the core gameplay mechanics that made it really fun.
Okay. So I'm quickly gonna have to share what I got because for some reason my pack didn't open, um, and I now have to guess what I opened up. So that makes it a little difficult. But what I can share is actually this pack I got two epic cards. So I do quickly want to share two epic cards that I got. I didn't get any gold, unlike Diego who got some gold from it. But I did get two epic cards. So if I'm gonna go to epic, this one I didn't have this one in my collection, so that's pretty cool. It's a very epic water card. It has three magic, which is pretty strong, and also very strong health. So I didn't have that card in my collection. I also didn't have this card in my collection either,
Oh,
and it has a scatter
yeah,
shot.
I got this one as well, right?
Yeah, you got this one as well. So those are two pretty cool cards that I got out of this brand new collection. Unfortunately, I can't see all the cards, so that's a bit of a bummer. But pretty cool. I feel it's pretty cool. I like the designs. The lores are pretty good as well. So I think that's for me the interesting part. So Gregory asked, "What did I miss?" Well, we're opening up packs now. We're basically opening up packs. Um, of our favorite NFT games and collectibles. And what I'm actually gonna open up now is not a pack that's to be taken very lightly. I actually have a rare NBA Top Shot pack that I just managed to get earlier today. So you want to quickly share some more cards, Diego? You're still on mute.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm actually opening up the marketplace to show you how kind of that works. It's on Immutable Token Trove. And speaking of Token Trove, this is also the platform that Gary Vee's book is gonna come. His book games. So he's
Oh,
gonna launch his game on this platform as well.
so quickly I have to know: do you have to pay gas fees for every
So
transaction?
once it's on the layer two, the immutable
Yeah.
chain, you have no gas fees. If you want to transfer from layer one to layer two, you do have to pay the gas fees. But they recently, just last week, implemented MoonPay, which you can directly deposit money on immutable X by avoiding the gas
Oh,
fees. Yeah,
oh,
so
okay.
that was
That's
a
good.
nice addition.
Okay.
So just to show an indication, these are like cards that have been recently listed. These are the diamond cards, and these are the prices they're going for. Like the rarest cards,
Yeah,
like 200,000, and people
it's
actually
crazy.
trade these.
So the cards that you've just gotten, yeah.
So if you go to my account, basically this is just an estimation value. So I've been
Okay.
playing this game for 7 weeks now. I did buy some cards. Let's say I bought about $100 worth of card, but most of them have been like free to play from weekend rewards. So my collection is worth about $380 worth of cards, and you can actually sell them to show some activity. I sold some cards here, $4, $5, and then bought some cheap cards for 2 cents, 6 cents, which I didn't have in my collection yet. So that's
Yeah,
kind of the
that's
exciting thing about the marketplace.
okay. I'm quickly gonna have a look as well with my Splinterlands collection, what it's worth currently worth. Um, but it's also a collection that I have no idea how much I should track more carefully how much I put into it. But it's just because it's all bought with Hive. Um, I've kind of neglected on keeping a better view of everything.
Yeah, once
So
you're in the
you're
crypto
yeah.
space, it kind of makes that threshold figure about, oh, I spent like $200 on that.
There are a lot of memes going around with NFTs. Yeah, there are people like paying $500 for an NFT, and they're like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then when they have to pay the electricity bill, which is $50, they're like, "Oh, that's a lot of money."
Just the
Okay,
gas fees and Ethereum.
so my biggest NFT collection is actually a sports collection. It's a basketball collection of NBA moments, and NBA Top Shot is a fully licensed collectors uh, yeah, platform which has collections of NBA players and WNBA players. This is kind of what my pack overview looks like. I actually have quite some packs now that I can actually open up, but I'm waiting for the right time, which could be in 5 years' time, that I decide to open all these packs up. Some of them I'll open up during this season. Some of them I will remain keeping them closed. I think it's pretty cool to still have a closed pack, like in 5 years' time. And I kind of carefully selected which packs I wouldn't mind that I have to open them in 5 years' time, and the value wouldn't completely be gone in 5 years' time, because that's also a risk that you might run into. But I have been active on NBA Top Shot since I think March. I came really at a bad time. A lot of people that got into NBA Top Shot at the time that I jumped in kind of are down, like uh, in investment wise, in like how many they paid for the cards and how much the cards are worth now. For instance, when I joined NBA Top Shot, I wanted to get into my first pack collection, and back then I had to at least have 3 moments, and those 3 moments, cheapest one went for $20. Like I wasn't able to buy anything under $20, and the cheapest cards now go for $1 to $2 already. But these are like high serial numbers. So to give you an idea, the pack that we're gonna open up, one of the cards is actually, or one of the moments is a very rare or a rare moment, which there are less than a dozen of in the world. So basically, I own a moment that there's less than a dozen of those moments, whereas the other four will just be moments that have a addition of 60,000. So there's 60,000 of those similar cards. So of course, the $60 cards, they're not worth that much. Currently, they go for $2 or $3. Um, but there are some interesting ones. Players that are now rookies, they're in their first season, or cards that have very high value because of the type of player that's in the moment. But there's this one rare moment in the pack as well. So we're gonna open one up. I just got really lucky because you don't always get drawn for a pack. I think there were around 30,000 people eligible for this pack, and there were only 13,000 packs. So unfortunately, we're in a closed group, friends group that collects NBA Top Shots, and I was actually the only one to get my hands on one of them today. So this is a premiere. I haven't opened NBA Top Shot on social Confoes before, so let's see what it. This is what it looks like.
And a
Um,
premium pack to boot.
yeah, it's the release one, the first premium pack of this season. There is also a legendary pack, but I wasn't eligible for the legendary pack. And the legendary pack, if I remember correctly, went for $999, and that's a little bit too expensive for me. So even if I was eligible, I'm not sure I had that amount yet. So let's get into the metallic gold. This is my first metallic gold.
Drum roll. Oh, they even got some music.
Yeah, I got some music. So this is the rare. So we're gonna open that one last.
As you're doing this, I do gotta ask, what
Yeah.
is like from a social social side, psychological side, what is the excitement of opening packs?
So you have to. It's like you're not sure what you're gonna get. So I'm pretty upset that my Splinterlands pack didn't open properly, because you could see how excited I got for you when I hovered over and I saw like, whoa, you're getting two rares and two epics. Of course, I already knew what was there, because the epic has like this white layer around it, and then the rare has the blue layer, and the legendary one shakes. So if you open a pack and you see one of your cards shaking, you know you got a legendary. And then the gold foil, you can't predict that one. So for NBA Top Shot, when you open up these packs, it's like you don't know what kind of moment this is going to be. So this is a moment by Jonas, and this is, I think, an assist moment. And so basically, you get six moments from this pack, and these are all NBA moments. These are of games that were played in the NBA, and the quality, of course, now is a lot better, because we also have moments from 2005, 2006, but they aren't as high definition as these moments. So it's a different spectrum. And of course, if it's your favorite player, of your player from your favorite team, it's even more exciting as well. So I actually own Jonas in one of my, or actually both my fantasy leagues, and he's doing great because Sign Williamson is out. So I get maximum enjoyment from Jonas's play right now. And I think I already own a couple of these moments, because I think I really like this moment as well. So, any other questions before I put the music back on?
No, just let's go through that experience.
Okay, okay. Let's put the music back on for the next one. This is Cole Anthony. So I don't know whether to blame it on the internet connection or something else. Guess these moments aren't really loading as easily because, of course, we do want to see the actual moment playing, and that's not happening at the moment. So unfortunately, we're gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna put the music back on.
Welcome to the stream, Jager, and happy lurking. We're opening some packs right now. NBA Top Shot pack from Jean-Luc.
Yeah. So I'm basically stopping here because this is gonna be the last one, and that's also gonna be the metallic gold. So far we've got Jonas Valanciunas, Cole Anthony, Jackson Hayes, Jaron Jackson, and Tobias Harris. The best part so far is that all of them are 60,000, so there's no like a 9,999 or 4,000 serial. Those are 4,000 serial is actually a pretty interesting one because those are rookies and that's their top shot debut. So getting one of those is quite nice as well. But all of them, as you can see, they have a 60,000 serial. But the interesting part about them is that these are pretty low serials. So they're all, except for this one, they're around 30, 20,000. So that's pretty good. So what I'm hoping to land here with the final one is very low serial metallic gold and hopefully a LeBron. That would be really cool. Another one that I really enjoy is Miles Bridges. So let's see what the final moment brings us. Ooh, the Golden State Warriors moment. Jordan Poole. This is pretty cool. This is actually a pretty cool moment to have. So Jordan Poole at the moment is, what shall I say? He's been a revelation. He's pretty popular. Of course, the most well-known Golden State Warrior um, is the most popular Golden State Warrior is actually, of course, Stephen Curry. But Jordan Poole has been on the come up, and this year he has been nothing short of awesome. I actually want to see this moment, so I'm a little bit disappointed that I don't get to see it. But maybe if I go to view my progress, um, we do get to see the Jordan Poole playing. Okay, I promise to make sure that it plays and that I get to show that moment another time. That I might share it on social. I might share it as an Instagram story to show like what the moment actually looks like. So
Yeah,
that's, yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. Unfortunately, I couldn't show like what it looks like fully, but at least I got to open a pack live on social Confoes.
we should do these. Let us know if you enjoy this kind of stuff, but we certainly do.
Yeah, we did.
And that definitely on my regular Twitch streams, I do pack openings from Gods Unchained. So if you tune in there, shameless plug on that. Uh,
check out
um,
check out Diego on Twitch. Maybe you should
but
shout out your
it
Twitch
is an
stream as well.
yeah, the Twitch at Damn Cipher, DMCYPHER. But it is an exciting time to be in this space, uh, in this collection space. You're on mute, by the way.
If you're gonna plug, I'm also gonna plug quickly. I'm also gonna plug something.
I'm leading into the Hive plug, so you want to take
Oh,
over?
oh, no, I'm not. I'm actually not moving into the Hive blog. I'm actually gonna share the NFT giveaway account that I have on Twitter. Because if you're seeing all these stuff and you're like, okay, cool, nice, you're opening packs from $90 and $2.50. I don't have any money. How can I get in NFTs for free? Currently, I'm giving away NFTs for free
By
every day.
playing,
Every
by
No, I'm just literally on Twitter giving away NFTs every day. I'm giving away 3 NFTs a day. It's quite simple. If you go to twitter.com/gifting NFTs, this is actually my NFT giveaway account. Um, I post here on a regular basis. I give away free giveaways, and if you want to read about it, you can read the pin tweet. It goes into a lengthy article on what I'm actually giving away. And I'm giving away every day up until the first day of Christmas. And I can already tell you that I will have, on the second day of Christmas, I will have an additional giveaway because some of the winners are gifting part of their prize back to me for future giveaways. Some of them are taking all the 3 prizes that they won, but some of them are like, yeah, I really did it for this prize. So the other 2 prizes are that specific prize. I don't have an account for that, so you can give it away again. And so basically every day for the past 5 days already, every day I'm giving away. So I'm quickly scrolling to the first day of the NFT giveaway. So this was day one. Basically, I tell every day what I give away. It's in a visual. I also put it in the description. This is what you need to do: like and retweet, follow 2 accounts, tag somebody in them, and then basically at the end of the day, I pick a winner, and I just use a Twitter picker for that, who kind of gives me the filters, and then there's a winner. So every day, I'm giving away 3 NFTs, and every day we pick a winner, and so it continues on for 10 days straight. And I also do, of course, I do prove that I actually have handed over all the prizes. So from older giveaways, I actually quickly have to go a little bit to the previous giveaway. But from previous giveaways, I also list either in a Hive article who the winners are, or I just put the winners here in the announcement. I also screenshot or show kind of the when the prize has been awarded. In some cases, I do that on Hive. In some cases, I do that on Twitter. So basically, that is it for now.
awesome. So if
Yeah.
I were
So
you, I'd go to
here's the
Twitter right
proof
now.
of stake that I actually sent the prize to the winner. So basically, it's a free NFT account, and you can win every day. There's 3 NFTs to win every day up until first day of Christmas, and of course, in the new year, I will continue to give away, and I try to give away something every week, and it's really been made possible now by Hive due to the fact that, and I'm quickly also going to pop up uh, the Hive blog, because basically that's how I pay for these giveaways now. Is that I tell about the giveaway, I write about the giveaway. So I'm quickly going to show you on Hive the blog, and this is basically where I tell what I'm going to do. That I started an NFT giveaway account, and the moments and everything that we're going to give away. Um, and yes, with posting on Hive, I've actually earned this post has earned $35. Half of it goes to curation, so that means there's a little bit over $17 that I made on this post, and those $17 actually go into buying new prizes for the next giveaway. So the
And
higher actually my reward on these posts is for the NFT giveaway, the more expensive the prizes that you can win with the NFT giveaway get. Basically,
and
that's it
that's
in
how you
short.
earn on Hive, guys. Here's the
Yeah.
Hive plug.
So if you've been posting on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram every day for a year, and at the end of the year, Facebook's gotten richer, Instagram has gotten richer, and you haven't earned anything, please join us on Hive. Create your content. First of all, you own the content. Facebook's not allowed to use your content for their commercial gain, but also you get to profit from it. And Diego is going to show how much he's earning on Hive as well, which is increasing a lot. Your every
Yeah,
post
so
that you post up is getting
so
50. That's impressive.
basically, since I started playing, like, what is this, 25 days, about a month ago, I started posting on Hype again. And I've been consistently posting weekly. And yeah, for 4 weeks now, made one, two,
You
three,
have to be
four, five,
careful.
six,
You
seven,
have to be
eight.
careful, Diego, because you have consumed Hive content for years, and you're only recently starting creating content, and you're in a niche which really values your content because there's nobody on, or there are not a lot of people on Hive creating quality content in the niche that you are creating. So you're being rewarded for that. And I think it's important for people that are starting out on
You have
Hive
to
that
find
they
your
don't
niche and the
expect
community. Yeah.
they don't
Don't,
need to expect that they are going to earn more. When I started on Hive, I made pennies. I made $4 cents, $5 cents, suppose $2
yeah,
cents.
here's
Then
the older post,
yeah, so
60
you should
cents,
also
30
show them
cents.
this casual Confoes, creative Confoes post that get some traction. Some get 2 cents, some get $12. But it's not like for every post that you really earn that much until you find your niche, you get valued for your content, and then of course things change.
And
We
that
know,
is one thing I
yeah,
do want to emphasize. Find a community and create quality content in
I
that
think quality.
community.
You should show them a post because it's not like you're posting like one sentence and
Uh, yeah, so this is one of the posts, basically just a recap with, graphics, photos of how the weekend went. But just to show I'm actually in the lower average of, that people are getting upvoted for, like people who write paragraphs and make whole tutorials. Those are in the 200, 300 range.
yeah,
And that's what you can see here. Like there's a tournament running now, around now, like 270, 200, like a complete guide, 300.
yeah.
So these are all the content
Awesome.
creators we've met on Twitch. But having said that, there's opportunities everywhere. Find your niche, try everything, and see where,
So okay, I quickly want to go back. I quickly want to go back to the question like, why are we doing this? Like, why is social conference here? Because yeah, it's first of all, I want to have social conversations with people who are doing amazing things in the world. Not just Suriname, but just doing amazing things in the world. And then there's the second, and you're gonna hear me talk about this for the next 5 years, Diego. I really believe with quality internet, with blockchain development, with the rise of the Web 3.0, it's possible for anybody anywhere in the world, including Suriname, to actually make a living off of these things that we're doing. Because we're doing this on the side. We're doing NBA Top Shot, Splinterlands. We're doing it on the side. We're doing Gods on Chain still on the side. It's not really our job. But just like influencer marketing has really become a thing in Suriname, I know a lot of influencers right now in Suriname that get paid more in per month for influencer gigs than people that actually work a full-time job get paid as well. And that's just a starting point. Because I believe that if you're good in something, and I really want, and I'm focusing a little bit more on Suriname now because this is a message that I want to get across for people from Suriname, but people from developing countries. When I look at people from Venezuela, people who are from the Philippines, and how they go into Web 3.0 and how they leverage Web 2.0 to actually make a living out of it, and also kind of build up their financial freedom and their financial independence as well. With Web 3.0, of course, you have to be good at it. Of course, you're going to have to invest time in it. But if you invest your time in it, if you're good at it, you will be able to create a living from that, and without having the hassle of being in a traditional space. And what I also want to say is, if you're good in a traditional space, if you're good working for a boss, if you're good in a corporate environment, or if you're good in an environment where you actually don't want full ownership, you should do that as well. It's not that I'm saying like leave everything behind, leave your job behind, and dive deep into this. I think it's more important that you, if you dive into this, you really find it interesting. That's for me the most important thing. But also, if it's for you, you should definitely do it. But if you're like, yeah, I want to work from 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and that's my job, and I enjoy that, and that's what I want to do, please keep doing that because it makes you happy. But if you're like stuck and you're like, I want to do something creative, I want to create more content, but I don't know how to monetize this is actually a great way to get started. If you want to know more about decentralized finance, decentralized communities, cryptocurrencies, but also blockchain technology, dive into it, get acquainted with it. Don't spend too much money on it. If somebody jumps up to you and says, I have this great crypto project, all you need 100 is $100, stay far away from it. Please stay far away from it. Do your research first, and if you want to invest the $100, or if you actually earned $100 from this, then it's worth to go around from it. I'm first. This is the first year that I'm actually like 2 years ago. If you said like, "Do you have $100 for an NFT project?" I would have been like, "No, I don't." Only now, after 4 years of creating content, I've built up enough leverage that I can say like, I can invest $100 into this without breaking a sweat and worrying like, okay, is this the right investment? Because if it went wrong, I lost $100. So I think that's a very important step towards actually going into the space, not throwing all your money and all your life savings at it and hoping that it multiplies by 10, but actually first getting to know the space, understand how markets work, and then from then on, you can start doing stuff that's fun.
Well, I'd say start with the fun stuff and then extrapolate from that. Oh, you're enjoying this, you're enjoying creating content, you're enjoying playing this game. Oh, I can actually earn by enjoying this. And then expand with it. So, work the other way around. But I think that's a great place to end this. It has been an amazing 50 weeks. How are we going to close out the year? And since we already know how we're going to start the year.
Good question. I'm just excited. I'm just excited in general. And I just want to thank everybody for being part of this. Everybody who supported us through the year, the guests, the people who've tuned in to the live sessions. You, if you're listening to this on the recording or on a streaming platform, thank you for being part of Social Confoes in 2021. And we will be back in 2022.
Yes, see you on, let me check the date, January 4th. So
So
everyone who
let's
tuned
close
in,
this off.
yep. Thanks for tuning in the live sessions. The recordings will be posted before the end of the year, so you can re-listen to all 50 episodes if you want, or just the ones that you missed on the website, confoes.com. That's confoes.com, confoes.com. Share with your friends and have a great year-end closing. See you in 2022.
Happy holidays. This was Social Confoes. See you back. See you back the first Tuesday of next year. Same place. Bye bye.